When I think about my journey with schizoaffective disorder, one thing stands out. There was always a huge focus on my symptoms, how severe they were, how frequent, and how manageable. And that's what my care really revolved around, and it really shaped how I understood my illness. For years, my treatment and mindset were entirely about symptom control. Success was almost entirely measured by how well I could reduce, manage, or live with my symptoms. And while that's important and obviously helped me, I realized that this perspective was really limited. It didn't really take into account something equally, if not more, important, and that was my overall quality of life. I often felt dissatisfied, like something was missing, but I accepted that dissatisfaction as just a part of living with my illness. I was told and I believed that this was how life navigating a chronic mental illness would always be. But what if we made space to aim higher? What if instead of only focusing on symptom management, we stopped to reflect on our quality of life and asked ourselves, what do I want my life to look like beyond just managing symptoms? Now, before you think I'm building towards suggesting keto, let me stop you right there. That is not the point of this conversation. When I started thinking intentionally about my quality of life, what it was and what I wanted it to be, that's when I decided to try keto and metabolic therapies. Because for me, it was a low-risk way to add on to my current treatment and something that could improve my life without much to lose if it didn't work. But again, this is not about keto. It's about asking a bigger question. How can we reframe the way we think about chronic mental illness to focus on thriving instead of just surviving? When we shift our perspective, we can start to think more broadly about what impacts quality of life. Here are some things to consider when assessing quality of life. So we need to look at symptom burden. So how severe, frequent, or impactful are your symptoms? Also, functional outcomes, meaning how can you engage in daily activities, work, or maintain social connections? Emotional well-being, asking how are your stress levels, anxiety, or overall mental state? Physical health, are you sleeping well? Do you have energy? How's your physical wellness? Social relationships, what's the quality of your support network and connections? And autonomy, do you feel independent and in control of your decisions? There's so much we could unpack about all of these factors, but what I really want to encourage you to do is to start thinking intentionally about your quality of life. Really take stock of where you are right now. For a long time navigating my mental illness, I never really stopped to actually assess this. Again, the focus was on symptom reduction, and I didn't consider enough my broader experience of my life. Are you satisfied with your life? And if not, what could help improve it? This question can definitely feel overwhelming, but it could involve very small changes or bigger steps. It really starts, though, with giving yourself permission to ask the question, what would thriving look like for me? I understand that systemic barriers like socioeconomic challenges make this work harder for many people. I know that I've been really privileged to have the space to reflect on and improve my quality of life. But it's still a tremendously important exercise, regardless of this, to really take stock of how we're experiencing our own lives. Not everyone's journey will look the same, and that's okay. What matters is that you, as the expert in your own experience, take ownership of your mental health and of your life. I've noticed over the years of sharing my experience with schizoaffective disorder on this channel that there are many people leaving comments who are often surprised by what they perceive as my quality of life. There's this assumption and sometimes an expectation that living with a chronic mental illness means a life of struggle and dissatisfaction. But that's a narrative we can challenge. Let's reframe this. Let's start thinking about our quality of life, not what we've been told it should be, but what we want it to be. This shift opens the door to consider what's possible, and it reminds us that we deserve to thrive. Now, thriving doesn't mean life is perfect or free from challenges, but rather it means feeling empowered to take steps toward improving your experience of life, whatever that looks like for you. You deserve to thrive. We all do. Thank you for watching this video. If this message resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts on how you're thinking about and working toward your own quality of life. And remember, you deserve to thrive. Wishing you and your loved ones good health, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.